Hi, Jim Moyna here with Moyna Bass Fishes, and behind me is Clark's Hill Lake, the site of my next tournament, which is part of the 2023 MLF Invitational series of tournaments, which is the qualifying series for the MLF Bass Pro Tour, which is my goal. Let's not forget that. That's my goal. After the first tournament in Okeechobee, I'm sitting in 35th place in the points, and another finish like that will be okay, but we're shooting for higher than that, obviously. 150 boats in this series. All right, so yeah, that's Clark's Hill behind me. Okay, over here, up there is my rig in my campsite. There's the boat, the Ranger boat, powered by Mercury with the Ridgeford wrapped camper. But anyhow, this lake, I've been here one time, and just giving you an idea of how weak my performance was that one time. I've actually been here two times, and the other time I can't even remember. And let me tell you the story on that. I knew I'd been here once, so about a week ago or so, I knew I didn't do well in that tournament. It was a fall tournament. This is the springtime, or not like late winter. It's like end of February. Anyways, so in that particular fall tournament, I wanted to just look back and see how I did. I knew it wasn't good, but just to see, just kind of pull back some memories. And in the process of doing that, I discovered that I've actually been here twice. And neither time I did very good, both times in the fall. And I still dispute that other time. I'm like, I swear I've only been here once, even though I'm on record as being here two times. I absolutely do not remember being here twice. And that gives you an idea of really how poorly I must have fished, because it's all completely, and that gives you an idea of the kind of memory I'm having to deal with, which is my weakness. That's a weakness in my fishing, actually, is my memory. There's certain things in my memory that, just to give you an example, let's say I go through a bay or a cove or a creek arm, and I put down 7 waypoints, one of which was really the sweet juice. Then I come back 2 days later, let's say in competition, and sometimes I'll be like, okay, which one of these 7s was really the juice of the juice? Which one was the really good one? Those are issues I've had to deal with, and I'm aware of the issues, so you can actually plan for that. So I am a little more careful on when I lay down a bunch of waypoints. A little more careful as far as making sure I know which particular waypoint was the primo waypoint. So anyways, that's my memory. All right, back to Clark's Hill. So probably my most vivid memory of Clark's Hill Lake has nothing to do with fishing. It has to do with, so it wasn't this campground I was at. It was at some other campground. I don't even know where it was, but it wasn't this one, because this one's set up differently. But my most vivid memory were the ants, the insects, the ants that literally made highways through my camper. I'll just never forget. I came back from a practice, and there literally were highways of ants traveling through my camper, all different directions. Along the creases along where the wall meets the ceiling, and there are ants going. This is like two-way traffic of ants going up and down roads they have made. That apparently it's their pheromones or something that leave these trails, but there were so many of them. So then that was a huge issue. So then I get out my flashlight, because it's dark, it's after practice, and I fish till dark. And then I go outside to see what's going on. Where are these ants coming from? And I can see them coming up the legs of my camper, the support legs. So then I track them, and I just realized my whole campsite was just one like a roadways of a metropolis. There was crisscrossing highways of ants. Some were going down in cracks in the concrete. Some of them were going up into trees. It was just crazy with ants. And I mean, and you can't, I mean, I couldn't get rid of them that night. I went and got some spray that you can spray on your camper legs, and then I got ant traps, but it wasn't that night that I was able to do that. So that night, I remember that night, I'd just be waking up with ants crawling on my face and crawling on my arm, and that is my most vivid memory of Clarks Hill Lake in Georgia. So we're looking to change that. We're looking to make an impact here. My efforts to try to qualify for the Bass Pro Tour. That's where I want to be. That's what it's all about. So when I checked this lake a couple days ago on the internet, there's some sites you can go to, check water elevations, check water temperature. So the water temperature was in the 50s, and we've had some there's been some serious heat going on here. I think it's supposed to be in the 80s here today, like record highs. So boy, there should be a huge movement of fish shallow. However, in this day and age of forward-facing sonar, is this going to be a tournament where the shallow bite's actually going to knock off the forward-facing sonar bite? Because there are a lot of spotted bass in this lake. Although all the YouTube videos I watched, I never once saw a spotted bass that was really of any significance that anybody caught. You know, sure, there's 2.5 pounders, but I never saw anybody catch like several 3.5, 4 pound spotted bass because they just ain't in here apparently. I'm sure there's some in here that size, but over a 3-day tournament, you're probably not going to catch 15 3-pound spotted bass out of here. So I am going to be targeting on largemouths, but there could be some forward-facing largemouth out here for sure. But will it be enough to offset the massive wave of shallow fish that I'm sure is happening right now, right in this little bay? I mean, right in this little cove right here. I mean, right on that little point, there's a ditch. There's a ditch running out of the back here. There's probably fish right. I mean, I can't fish right now. It's off limits, but surely I'm sure a guy could just walk along the shoreline right now and put a few in the boat for fun. But I can't do that. So, but anyways, and here's the other cool thing that's, I can see the water's been coming up. So there's like fresh greenery. There's like fresh grass and whatever this weed, this terrestrial weed is right here. Bunch of this kind of looking stuff is actually underwater right now. So fish love that. When that happens, especially this time of year, fish love to get up on that stuff. So that's another factor. It's another element that's going to want to draw some fish up to the bank. So there's going to be a lot of fish caught on the bank here. Will there be enough to override the forward-facing sonar gang? That's yet to be determined. How am I going to do it? Am I going to fish the bank, or am I going to fish forward-facing sonar? I'm planning. My first day is going to be all forward-facing sonar type of fishing and looking. So that's my first day of practice tomorrow. I'm going to stay off the bank and just strictly look around for forward-facing sonar type places to fish and see how that goes. Probably have a lot of swim baits going on, some crankbaits, and maybe it's a drop shot or two, or football, all-terrain tackle football jig. Those will be kind of my primary weapons, and a jerk bait as well. In case if I find, I might find some brush piles out there, and with this heat, a lot of these fish should be suspending on top of some of this brush for sure. And then there's docks in this lake too. That's a bank cover, so I imagine I love fishing docks. So if tomorrow doesn't work out, then I'll be hitting the bank and probably living there the rest of the tournament, or the rest of practice at least. So anyhow, that is, gosh, it's almost hot right now. But yeah, I just rolled in a little bit ago. Still got the cover on the boat. So the rest of today, I'm going to go, I'm trying to get back into my exercise regimen. And I have been doing pretty good the last few weeks with that. So first thing I'm going to do is go out and spend 30 minutes running, get my exercise in, get that out of the way. And then the rest of the day will be spent basking in this Georgia sunshine, sitting in my boat, rigging up tackle. Because the last place I fished was Okeechobee, and of course, there's going to have to be a lot of my setups are going to rod, reel, line setups are going to have to be adjusted to in anticipation of how I'll be fishing out here on Clark's Hill. So that be it, and we will check in after the first day of practice. Over.